Hi, I'm Michael Bickert. Thanks for tuning in and joining me today. As we get started, I always like to remind everyone, if you don't have a pen and paper handy, please pause the video and grab both of those so that you can take notes. Try to make a commitment to yourself to come away from this with at least one thing that you learned, one actionable item that you can implement in your business today. So I wanted to relate to you a story regarding an experience I had yesterday, and it'll end up being somewhat of a review if you've been following along and watching the various videos, and that's a good thing, because in fact the observation I made when I was in my meeting yesterday is that review is very necessary, and we've all experienced that. It's not necessary that you're going to learn something novel every time you tune into something like this. Rather, you're hopefully inspired and motivated to go back with something that you may already have known, but you haven't really implemented, you haven't taken action. And so, without further ado, I guess I'll just get into it. What happened yesterday is I had a meeting with someone who runs a business-to-business services operation, and she was sharing with me and wanting my input and insights into some ideas she had. She was sharing with me an idea she had to create a new application that she could offer to existing customers as well as to new customers, and she thought that it would increase value across the board, as well as be a new product offering. And it was actually a really good idea. I listened, I heard her out, and I thought, yeah, that sounds good. But before I advise you on that, let me ask you some questions. And the first question I asked was whether or not she was currently on a trajectory and pacing to meet the objectives she had, specifically with respect to profitability in her business. And the answer was no. And I then sort of explored why. And we talked about some things. She made some insightful observations herself that she may need to better define her target market. And that was really something that's important. Every business needs to carefully consider who their target market is. You know, that impacts things like marketing and what kind of communication you'll get out there. And really how you design your operations entirely has to do with who you're servicing. So that was insightful. And she made the observation that she wanted to increase her product offerings, and that would be another way to increase sales and hopefully profitability. And so we just delved into it a little bit further, and I asked her, all right, well, you're not experiencing the profit that you're projecting, that you're targeting for. So would it be safe to assume that you are not, you are also not accomplishing the level of sales and revenue that you were pacing for? And the answer was a resounding, that's true. Yes, that's a safe assumption. So I pointed out that almost invariably, if you are not meeting your sales and revenue projections, you probably are lacking customers. And we've talked about he or she with the biggest database wins, or the biggest active database. So I asked, how many customers do you have? And we sort of went through some rough calculations, and I said, well, right there's an obvious area for improvement. You need more customers. And in order to get more customers, you need more leads. And how do you get more leads? Well, you have to do more marketing. Perhaps you have to do more marketing, advertising. You need to network some more. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where your day-to-day actions are going to have an impact and affect your bottom line on the income statement. So when we're talking about profitability, I like to work it up, go from the bottom of the income statement. If your profitability is not where you hoped it would be, where are your sales? If your sales aren't where they hope it would be, then start looking at things like in your CRM. What about your customer, your database? How big is that? And if that's not where it should be, how many leads do you have coming in the pipe? And if that's too low, then you need to look at your marketing efforts, and you start again recording those conversions and looking for opportunities for improvement. And in this discussion, it became clear that although there may be merit in a new product offering and in improving value for her existing customers through the development of an application that may be very convenient, that is not the lowest hanging fruit. In her case, there were better opportunities to pursue now. And it also wasn't her core competency. In order to do this, she has limiting programming skills and abilities. So she would have to invest to bring in programmers to assist with the development of the application, even though she had it well thought out and knew the general way how to bring it to fruition. It was going to require more investment to bring another product offering. And we talk about on a regular basis that it is always important to be looking and innovating, looking at ways to increase value, both for existing customers and prospective customers, increasing value. And we discussed, do you have enough products and services? And in fact, in her case, she had some core competencies in products and services that are very marketable, that her existing customers are already paying for. And so I think the lowest hanging fruit, the greatest opportunity for improvement is to develop a stronger marketing strategy, surrounding conquesting more customers. Once you have a good influx of more leads, which can be converted to customers, which can be converted to sales and revenue, which then can manifest as profit on the bottom line, then you can start to look at maybe more product offerings. And you can do these things simultaneously. But there has to be some kind of critical mass. If you're not meeting the projections you want to meet, don't start scrambling and grasping at new things to try to offer. It can be a distraction when instead you may need to just take it back to basics. So just one more time, let's reiterate. Are you making the profit that you're hoping to make? If not, go up a little higher on the income statement. What are your sales and revenue? Are you meeting your achievements there? Are you achieving your targets there? If not, then transfer over to your customer relationship management tool or whatever database or system that you're using to collect the information about how many customers you have. And for goodness sake, if you don't have something like that, well, there's a place we've got to start. You got to be able to count these things. You got to be able to measure this stuff in order to affect change on these numbers. So if you notice that your customer list is pretty low, then you have to go up again in the funnel, in the sales funnel. Well, in order to get more customers, we need more leads. How do we get more leads? And it depends. This is very specific. How do you get more leads? Depends on your business. Some of you are in a very word of mouth based business. Referrals are king. And so are you networking? Are you getting out there? Are you reminding people? Are you keeping in touch with your personal center of influence? And others are much more reliant upon, say, traditional advertising or digital advertising and marketing and content marketing, those types of things. So those are the things that are going to open up and hopefully turn up the flow of leads into your sales funnel that you can convert to customers, convert to sales and revenue, and convert to profitability. So those are the things that I discussed with her and sent her on a different path. And I said, maybe, that's a great idea. There's nothing wrong with exploring these ideas. This is what you're supposed to do in business, is analyze, and you come up with new ideas for advancing your business. But then you have to plan and execute according to where the greatest opportunity, because you have a finite amount of time in which you can invest in your business on any given day. You have a finite amount of resources and people that you can lean on, and capital, and various other things that you can put to work for you at any given moment. So in this case, the conclusion was made, probably that's something to put on the back burner for now and readdress once some of the fundamentals are fixed. And in this case, it was generating a better marketing strategy to generate more leads. So hopefully there was something there you can take away. In the comments, please let me know if you've experienced something like this. Would you have given different advice? Do you think that there's a better way to approach this from an analytical point of view? And ask questions, dissension, debate, it's all good stuff. If you didn't take a note, rewatch the video, listen and see, is there something, be honest with yourself. Is there something that you know you should be doing in your business, but you're not? Write it down and just make some progress on it today. Perpetual refinement. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.